Hello friends. So in the previous videos we had discussed about standard costing, the types of variances, how to compute different types of variances and few problems on how to solve those variances. Today we are going to look at some additional problems which you can expect in your examinations. So let us begin. So this first question I have taken from a mock test series of the institute. I think it is May 23 mock test series or November 22, I am not so sure. First let us read the question. The details regarding a product manufactured by the company for the last 1 week are as follows. Standard cost per unit, direct materials 10 units at 22.50, 225, direct wages 5 hours at rupees 120, 600, total 825. Actual for whole activity, direct materials 96,525, direct wages 2,44,860. Analysis of variance, direct materials price 8,775 adverse, usage 5625 favorable, direct wages labor efficiency 5,400 adverse. You are required to calculate material cost variance, actual output units, actual price of material per unit, actual wages rate per labor hour, labor rate variance and labor cost variance. So like any other problem of standard costing, we will first start to capture the information in our table. So what is our table? Our table is standard quantity or standard hours, depending on the variance. If it is material, standard quantity; if it is labor, standard hours. Then standard price or standard rate and standard cost. Then we have actual hours or actual quantity, actual price or actual rate and actual cost, right? First let us say material and labor. So what does the question give us? So first they say the standard cost per unit. So they have given us the standard cost per unit of output. When they say standard cost per unit, that means the standard cost per unit of output. So every unit of output requires 10 units of material. Every unit of output requires 10 units of materials, and 1 unit of material is purchased at 22.50. So 22.50 becomes my standard price. 22.50 becomes my standard price. Now 10 units, the 10 units mentioned here in the question is standard quantity for 1 unit of output. Standard quantity for 1 unit of output. However, we have to take the standard quantity for actual number of outputs. Since currently we do not know what actual number of output is, we will leave it blank. Next, do we have the standard cost? In the question they have given that 10 units at 22.5, that becomes 225, right? This is not my standard cost. This will be standard cost for 1 unit of output, but we need standard cost for actual unit of output, right? Since we don't have actual output, we will again calculate this later. Then further they give us the actual cost of direct material and direct labor. They are giving us actual cost of direct material, which is 96,525. Similarly, they have given us the details of labor. The way we took our material, we will take our labor also, which is my standard rate will be 120 and my actual cost will be 2,44,860. 2,44,860, right? Next, after this, they say that our material, they have given information regarding our material variances, which is material price variance and material usage variance. They have given that material price variance is equal to 8775. Material price variance is 8775. So let me write it down, 8775 adverse, right? And they have also given material usage variance, which is 5625 favorable. 5625 favorable. Now what we will do is we will use this information to calculate the missing information in our table. We will use these variances which they have given, price and usage, to calculate the missing information in our table. How will we do that is, what is the formula for material price variance? Standard price into actual quantity minus actual price into actual quantity, right? So this is the formula for computing my material price variance. So what we will do is, we will write down whatever information is available with us. We have already got the material price variance, which the question gives us 8775 adverse. Do we have the standard price? Yes, which is 22.5. So 22.50 actual quantity minus, now we do not have actual price, we do not have actual quantity, but we have the actual cost. If we take actual price into actual quantity, that becomes our actual cost, which we have already got in the question. So we will take 96,525. 96,525. So on further simplifying this equation, you will get 22.50 AQ, which is equal to 96,525 minus 8775. Now okay, so I have just used simple mathematics to simplify the equation, and I assume that you guys would know it. However, if you don't know, I am going to explain it once to you, that how you can simplify it, or what method I have used to simplify the equation. So what do we have here? We have 8775 adverse, right? Adverse means it is negative. So just for simplification, I will use the negative sign here, which is equal to 22.50 into actual quantity minus my actual cost, which is 96,525, right? Now what I will do is, I will take this 96,000, I will take this 96,000 on the left hand side. I will take this 96,000 on the left hand side. So what do we get? Let me use red. I'll get 96,525. 96,525. Since it is negative on the right hand side, when we take it to the left hand side, it becomes positive. This negative remains as it is, minus 8775, which is equal to 22.50 AQ, right? Then what I have done is just shifted. I have shifted LHS to RHS and RHS to LHS. So it becomes 22.50 AQ, which is equal to 96,525 minus 8775. Next step would be 22.50 AQ, which is equal to 96,525 minus 8775. We get 87750. Next, AQ is equal to, what I will do next is, I will take this 22.50 and shift it here, shift it to the right hand side. Since it is multiplication here, when we shift it to right hand side, it becomes division. So this will become 87,750 divided by 22.50, and we get actual quantity is equal to 3,900. 3,900. But I will not do all these steps every time. Simple, I will try to skip wherever possible. So this would be 87,750 divided by 22.50. Actual quantity is equal to 3,900. Now we have got the actual quantity. We can straight away write it here. This is the actual quantity of material, not the actual output. This is the actual quantity of material. Next, since we have got our actual cost, we have our actual quantity, we can compute our actual price. How? simple actual cost divided by actual quantity. It is 96,525 divided by 3,900. We get 24.75. 24.75 as my actual price. Right. Next, let us come to material usage variance. What is the formula for material usage variance? It is standard hours into standard rate minus standard rate into actual, sorry, this will be quantity. I'm sorry, I took the formula for labor labor efficiency variance. This will be standard quantity into standard price, force of habit, minus standard price into actual quantity, right? Which is equal to, do we know the standard quantity? We do not know that. We'll keep it as it is. Do we know the standard price? Yes, it is 22.50 minus we have the standard price 22.50 into our actual quantity 3,900. So simplifying this, we get 22.50 standard quantity is equal to 0.5 into 3,900, 87,750 plus 5625. Now again, how did I get this equation? You have to follow these steps, you will get it. It is simple mathematics, you should know by now. So standard quantity is equal to 93,375 divided by 22.50. So standard quantity comes to 4150, right? You can write 4150. Next, we have got our standard quantity, we have got our standard rate, we can get our standard cost. Just multiply standard quantity with standard price. 4150 into 22.50, 93,375. 93,375, right? Now we have computed all the required information for calculating material variances. So you can easily calculate material cost variance. Now here you have two methods to calculate material cost variance. One, you can take standard cost minus actual cost, you will get your material cost variance. Or one more thing is, you can take your material price variance, add it with material usage variance, and you will get your material cost variance. You can use either one of those. Both are correct. There is no wrong method here. Next, so first requirement is done, right? Second, actual output units. Actual output units. How do we calculate actual output units? See, we have our standard quantity of 4150, correct? And the question says one output is equal to 10 material input. One output is equal to 10 material input. So if I have 4150 input, what will be my output? If I have 4150 as my input, what will be my output? Simple cross multiplication. So 4150 divided by 10 into 1, you get 415 units. 415 units. So this is my actual output. Right? My actual output is 415 units. So our second requirement is also completed, right? Next, actual price of material per unit. We have already computed. Actual price is 24.75, right? So this is also done. Next, actual wage rates per labor hour. Now we will go to our labor, the requirements for labor variances, right? First let us calculate our standard hours, because that is little easier now. See, we have our output as 415, right? We have computed that our total output is 415, and the question says for 1 unit we require 5 hours. The question says for 1 unit we require 5 hours. So how many hours do I need for 415 units? Simple, you have to multiply these two together. 415 into 5, we get 2075. That becomes my standard hours, 2075. Since I have my standard hours and standard rate, multiply them with each other, you get your standard cost. 2075 into 120, we get 2,49,000. Right? We have got our what do you say? We have got our standard cost also. Next, the question gives us the information of labor efficiency variance, right? Labor efficiency variance. So what is the formula for labor efficiency variance? It is standard hours into standard rate minus standard rate into actual hours. Correct? So how much is my labor efficiency variance? It is 5400, adverse. It is 5400 adverse. So do we have our standard hours? Yes. And we have standard rate as well. If you multiply standard hours into standard rate, we get our standard cost. Since we have already computed it, we can straight away write 2,49,000. 2,49,000 minus standard rate is 120 into actual hours. So simplifying this, we get 120 actual hours is equal to 2,49,000 plus 5,400. So actual hours is equal to 2,54,400 divided by 120. Actual hours is equal to 2120. We get actual hours as 2120. So we have computed 2120. Now we have got our actual hours, we have got actual cost, we can calculate what is the actual rate. We have to just take our actual cost divided by actual hours, we get our actual rate. So 244,860 divided by 2120, we get 115.5, 115.50. This becomes my actual rate, right? So now coming back to the question, it asks us to calculate actual wage rate per labor hour. We have computed actual wage rate per labor hour 115.50. Next, labor rate variance. Now since we have got all the information which is required to calculate all the variances, you can go ahead and compute the labor rate variance easily. And again you can also compute the labor cost variance, which are the last two requirements of the question, right? This question is another interesting question. I have taken this from one of the previous exam papers, I think May 23 or November 22, pretty recent one. Let us read the question first. NC Limited uses a standard costing system for the manufacturing of its product X. The following information is available for the last week of the month. 25,000 kg of raw material were actually purchased for 3,12,500. The expected output is 8 units of product X from each 1 kg of raw material. There is no opening and closing inventories. The material price variance and material cost variance as per records are 12,500 and 18,800 adverse respectively. So before reading the question further, this question actually is kind of combination of 3 different questions. First they give us the material details, then they give us the labor details, and then they give us the fixed overhead details, right? Since this question looks like a combination of 3 different questions, we will divide the question in 3 parts and then compute. First we will compute the material part of it, then we will compute the labor part of it, then we will compute the fixed overheads part of it. So first let us do the material, and to do the material we will again first write down the information available in our table, right? So what all information do we need? We need standard quantity, standard price, standard cost, actual quantity, actual price, actual cost. So the question says 25,000 kg of raw material were actually purchased. So that becomes my actual quantity which is purchased. Doing it for material. So that becomes my actual quantity purchased, which is procured, 25,000. And it further says that it was purchased for 3,12,500. So that becomes my actual cost, right? 3,12,500. That is my actual cost. Next, the expected output is 8 units of product from X. 8 units of product X from each 1 kg of raw material. So this is an information which will be used for our computation of standards. So it says is 1 kg of material, I get 8 units of product X. So if I put in 1 kg, I am getting 8 units of product X. There is no opening and closing inventories. So this information, this sentence relates to my actual quantity. What this statement says is, there is no opening stock, which means we do not have to worry about taking the opening stock as our actual quantity. And again they say that there is no closing stock. That means we can easily assume that whatever is purchased during the week has been utilized during the week. Since there is no opening and closing, whatever is purchased during the week is completely utilized, is fully utilized. Next, the material price variance and material cost variance as per records are 12,500 favorable and 1,800 adverse. Further, they give us the information of material price variance and material cost variance. Material price variance, they say it is 12,500 favorable, and material cost variance, they say it is 1,800 adverse, right? So with this information we will calculate whatever is possible. With this information now we will calculate whatever information we can get. So first always in these kind of questions, our first aim should be to fill our table. Mostly the question is going to ask you the information which is required for the table. If they have given the variance, they will ask the information required for the table. If they have given the information which is required for the table, then they will ask you the variance, right? Usually these two are the kinds of problems they ask. Now first we will try to compute what we can from the material price variance. So material price variance, what is the formula for material price variance? Standard price into actual quantity minus actual price into actual quantity, right? What is standard price? We do not have it, so we will keep it as it is. We have the actual quantity, yes, it is 25,000 minus, do we have the actual price? We do not have the actual price. We have the actual quantity though, but we have got the actual cost. If we take actual price and multiply it with our actual quantity, we get our actual cost. Since we already have the actual cost, we can take that figure directly here. That is 3,12,500. Simplifying this equation, we get 25,000 standard price is equal to 3,12,500 plus 12,500. So standard price will be equal to 3,25,000 divided by 25,000. Standard price is equal to 13. So we have calculated our standard price, which is 13. Next, let us come to our material cost variance. What is the formula for material cost variance? It is standard cost minus actual cost. What is my standard cost? We do not know that. What is my actual cost? 3,12,500, right? So if we simplify this, we get 3,12,500 minus 1,800, which is equal to 3,10,700. My standard cost is 3,10,700. 3,10,700, right? So now since we have got our standard cost, we have our standard price, we can calculate our standard quantity. So 3,10,700 divided by 13, we get 23,900. And since we have our actual cost and we have our actual quantity, we can also calculate our actual price. So 3,12,500 divided by 25,000, which is 12.5. This is 12.5, right? Now we have calculated all the information to calculate material variances. Now let us see what the question is asking us. So the first requirement in the question is calculate the standard price per kg and standard quantity of raw material, which we have calculated. Standard quantity is 23,900 and standard price is 13, right? Next, it asks us to calculate, so this first requirement is done. In the second requirement, it asks us to calculate material usage variance. Material usage variance, it is simple to do actually. There are two methods to do. One is your traditional method. You can take the formula of standard hours into standard price minus standard price into actual quantity. This is standard quantity. You can either use this formula and calculate your usage variance, or you can take your material cost variance minus material price variance. So material usage variance is equal to this. How do we get the second formula is, you must remember this formula. Material cost variance is equal to material usage variance plus material price variance. So we are just writing this formula in a different way. That is, we take material price variance, shift it on to the other side. So once we shift, we get material cost variance minus material price variance, which is equal to material usage variance, right? It is as simple as that. That's all. Next. So we have completed the requirement related to material variances. Next we will go on to labor. So before we go on, I am going to erase all the calculations which you have done. I will keep the table only. If you want to copy, you can pause the video and copy. Right. Now let us move on to labor. So what does the question talk about labor? The standard time to produce a batch of 10 units of product X is 15 minutes. We will come to this statement later after reading the full question. The standard wage rate per labor hour is 50. The company employs 125 workers in two categories, skilled and semi-skilled. So now we know that we have skilled and semi-skilled laborers in a ratio of 60:40. The hourly wages actually paid were 50 per hour for skilled workers and 40 per hour for semi-skilled workers. So we have got the actual rate. 50 and 40. The weekly working hours are 40 hours per worker. We will come to this statement later. Standard wage rate is same for skilled and semi-skilled labor. So in the second sentence of the question, it says the standard wage rate per labor hour is 50, and at the end they say that the standard rate for skilled and semi-skilled is same. So the standard price or standard rate for both skilled and semi-skilled will come to 50. So this would also be my standard hours, this would be standard rate, actual hours, actual rate, right? Now this is the information which is given in the question. how do we calculate other things? We do not have the standard cost, we do not have the actual cost, and again they have not even given us any variances. They have not even given us labor cost variance or labor efficiency variance or labor rate variance. Where do we begin? The first thing we will do is compute our standard hours. We will compute standard hours. How will we compute standard hours? Is we have got our standard quantity for material. We have got our standard quantity for material. So in the question for material, it says the expected output is 8 units of product X from 1 kg of raw material. So if 1 kg is equal to 8 units, how many units will I get for 23,900? So 23,900 into 8, we get 1,91,200 units. This is my output. This is my output, right? Now, based on this output, so this is my actual output. Remember, this is not standard output or budgeted output. This is my actual output. Now, based on this actual output, we will compute what should be our actual hours. How? The question says in the first sentence that 10 units of product X is manufactured in 15 minutes. So 15 minutes is equal to 10 units. 15 minutes can also be written as 0.25 hours. 0.25 hours, right? Do not use minutes for your calculation. Our base is hours here. We have to compute standard hours, not standard minutes. We are computing standard hours. So we will convert the 15 minutes into hours and then we will do our calculation. So 15 minutes is equal to 0.25 hours. How do we do that? Is 15 divided by 60. 15 is the number of minutes divided by total number of minutes in an hour, which is 60. We get 0.25, right? As simple as that. So now how we calculate is, if 0.25 minutes are required for 10 units, how many hours will 1,91,200 units need? So 1,91,200 into 0.25 divided by 10, we get 4,780 hours. We get 4,780 hours. So this is my total standard hours. This is not my skilled or unskilled. This is skilled plus unskilled. So that becomes my total standard hours. 4780, right? So now since we have got 4780, the question says that the workers are employed in a ratio of 60:40. The workers are employed in a ratio of 60:40. So what we will do is, we will divide this 4750 in the ratio of 60:40. So 4780 into 60 divided by 100, we get 2868. 2868, and 4780 into 40 divided by 100, we get 1912. 1912. If you add these two, you will get 4780. Now, since we have got our standard hours and we have standard price, we will calculate our standard cost. 2868 into 50, we get 143,400. 143,400, and 1912 into 50, we get 95,600. We add these two, we get 2,39,000. 2,39,000, right? We get 2,39,000. Next, I'm erasing. Okay, you let it be there, no problem. Next we will compute our actual quantity. Actual hours. How can we calculate our actual hours? So again we will refer to the calculations for material. How is, for standard hours of 23,900, we have used 25,000 of my actual hours, actual quantity, right? For 23,900 standard quantity, my actual quantity is 25,000. So if my standard hours is equal to 2868, what should be my actual hours? Simple, again, cross multiplication. So 2868 into 25,000 divided by 23,900, we get 3,000. We get 3,000. Similarly, we will do for semi-skilled. 1912 into 25,000 divided by 23,900, we get 2,000. Multiply these two, we get, add these two, we get total 5,000. Right? Understood how we calculate our actual hours? Now, since we have our actual hours and our actual rate, we can calculate actual cost. So 3,000 into 50, we get 1,50,000, and 2,000 into 40, we get 80,000. You add these two, we get 2,30,000. Right? We have now calculated all the requirements for labor cost, labor variances. We can calculate labor cost variance, we can calculate the labor cost variance, labor efficiency variance as well. Right? They have not asked us to calculate labor rate variance, so you can ignore that. Again, I am not going to calculate the variances because I hope you already know how to calculate those, and it is very straightforward. If you use this table and the formula, you just have to substitute the terms with the figures from the table, and you will be able to get the answer. Next, lastly, we have to calculate fixed overheads. What does the question say is, so we have computed this also. Yeah, the monthly fixed overheads are budgeted at 76,480. So they have given the monthly budget. Let's write it down: budgeted hours and budgeted cost. So the monthly budget is 76,480. The monthly budget is 76,480, right? But we are doing it for 1 week. So this is not my budgeted cost. Further, the question says overheads are evenly distributed throughout the month and assume 4 weeks in a month. That is, every month has got 4 weeks. So if we want for 1 week, we take the monthly cost divided by 4, we get 76,480 divided by 4, we get 19,120. So this is my budgeted cost. 19,120. This is my budgeted cost. Right? Next. Further, in the last week of the month, the actual fixed overhead expenses were 19,500. So we have 19,500 as my actual cost. They have already given 19,500 is my actual cost. Right? Is there any other information related to overheads? No, they do not give us any other information. However, we have computed the standard hours and the actual hours. We have computed the standard hours and the actual hours for our labor. We can use the same hours for our fixed overheads as well. So if you have watched my video on overhead variances, I have told you usually overheads are dependent upon my material or labor. So if it is labor, we will have standard hours and actual hours. If it is material, we will have standard quantity and actual quantity. So usually overheads will use the same number of hours or quantity, right? So in this case, we will go with the number of hours, and we will use the labor hours which we have computed already. If the question is not clear whether you have to use the labor hours or the material quantity for overheads, always go with the hours. Right? So my standard hours comes to 4780 and my actual hours also will come to 5000. Right? Now we need budgeted hours. So the question says that we have 125 workers. The question says we have 125 workers and each worker can work for 40 hours in a week. Each worker can work for 40 hours in a week. So if we multiply these two, that is 120 into 40, we get our 125 into 40. One two five into 40, 125 into 40, we get 5,000. We get 5,000, right? Now we have our actual cost and actual hours. We can calculate if required the actual rate also. 19,500 divided by 5,000, we get 3.90. Right. Next, what else do we have? We can calculate our standard rate next. How? So standard rate is what? It is also called as absorption rate, right? Absorption rate or budgeted rate. How do we get the budgeted rate? It is budgeted cost divided by budgeted hours. Budgeted cost divided by budgeted hours. What is my budgeted cost? 19,120 divided by what is my budgeted hours? 5,000. So 19,120 divided by 5,000, we get 3.824. We get 3.824. That is my standard rate, 3.824. Again, I have already told you in the overhead variances video, but I am again repeating myself. Standard rate for fixed overheads is also equal to absorption rate, which is also equal to budget rate. These three are same. Their names are used interchangeably, right? 3.824. Now we have our standard rate, we have our standard hours, we can calculate our standard cost. So 3.824 multiplied by 4780, we get 18,278.72. 18,278.72. Now we have calculated all the information which is required for computing our fixed overhead variances. Now let us see what the question asks. So if you come to the third point, it says fixed overhead cost variance. You can calculate fixed overhead cost variance, that is standard cost minus actual cost. Fixed overhead expenditure variance. Expenditure variance will be our standard cost minus not standard cost, it will be my budgeted cost minus actual cost will become my fixed overhead variance. Let's do it this way. Fixed overhead will be this minus, budgeted minus actual, and then they ask us to calculate volume variance. Volume variance will be standard cost minus my budgeted cost, right? So if you do these three, your problem is completed. Your problem is solved, right? That is all the information, that is all the requirement of the question. Now I think that is all in this question. We have one more question. So if you see, these kind of questions are pretty easy to solve once you get the knack of it. You just have to think a little out of the box initially, but once you have practiced enough, you can easily do these questions. It is not that difficult, right? Now I have one more question. Let us look at it. This question I have taken from the institute material, the latest institute material. It is one of the problems from the exercise at the end of the chapter. So first let us read the question. So GAP Limited operates a system of standard costing in respect of one of its products which is manufactured within a single cost center. Following are the details. Budgeted data: material A 60 quantity at 20 rupees, total 1200, B 40 quantity at 30 rupees, total 1200, inputs in total 100, total cost 2400, normal loss is 20, output is 80 at a cost of 2400. Now actual data, my actual output is 80, material quantity of A is 70, price and amount is unknown, price of B is 30, quantity and amount is unknown. Further, they have given material price variance of A, which is 105 adverse, and material cost variance 275 adverse. You are required to calculate material price variance of A, actual price of material A, actual quantity of material B, material price variance, usage variance, mix variance, sub-usage variance. So before we start solving this, a few things I want you to notice. They have given material price variance of A and material cost variance of total. This is total material cost variance. This is not only A or only B. This is the total A plus B. Cost variance of A plus B, which gives us total cost variance. And this is of only A, material A, right? Remember that. Next, they are asking us to calculate material sub-usage variance. Sub-usage variance is nothing but your yield variance. Sub-usage variance is nothing but your yield variance. So for yield, there is another name called as sub-usage. Next, now let us get to solving the problem. So, like any other problem in standard costing, first we will write down the information provided to us in our table. So what is our table? We have standard quantity, standard price, standard cost. We have actual quantity, actual price, actual cost. Say this is A, this is B, right? So do we have the standard quantity? No, the question is given as the budgeted quantity, and I have told you earlier also, budgeted is different from standard, right? Standard quantity is always based on my actual output. Standard quantity will always be based on my actual output in the ratio of my budget, however, right? That means the budget is set here for 80 units of output. The budget is set here for 80 units of output. Coincidentally, in our question, the actual output is also 80 units. Coincidentally, the actual output is also 80. So my budget will become standard. However, let's say I will take an example. If my actual output was 160, let's say my output was 160 units. In this case, how will we calculate our standard? Right? This is just an example for you to understand, right? Let's say our actual output was 160. Then in this case, how will we calculate our standards? First we take our outputs, then in this we add our loss, right? How do we calculate loss? Loss will be calculated as actual output divided by budgeted output into budgeted loss, right? My actual output divided by budgeted output into budgeted loss. This will give me my loss for my actual output. If the question says the percentage of loss, let's say for example they give 20% loss. If the question says 20% loss, then this 20% is not on my output. 20% is not of my output. It is not 20% into 160. Okay, this will be wrong, right? How we will have to do it is, it should be 160 into 20 divided by 80. Why 80? Because 100 is my total input, minus 20% is my output, loss. Whatever is balance, that is 80, 100 minus 20, we get our normal loss, right? So one more way to write this 80 could be, if you can't remember, okay, why 80? One more thing you can take is 100, which is the total percent, minus my loss 20, minus my loss. So this would be the correct method, right? So let us calculate this. So how much is my actual output? 160. Again, this is just an example. My actual output in the question is 80. Okay. But I am just taking 160 as an example to explain you that if my actual output is not equal to my budgeted output, then how do we calculate our standards? 180 divided by my budgeted output is 80 into normal budgeted loss is 20. So we get 40. So total becomes 200. This is my total input. Now for input of A and B, we will take the ratio of budget. So if my output is 100, if my budgeted input is 100 and budgeted input of A is 60, how much will be my actual input of A? So how we will take that is 200 into 60 divided by 100, which will come to 120, and this will come to 80, right? This is how we will calculate our standard. So this is my standard quantity for A and B. But however, in the question they have given us our actual output is 80 units. So since our actual output is 80 and budgeted output is also 80, then my budgeted standards will become my budgeted input will become my standard input. So this is 60 and this is 40. Now coming to standard price. Standard price will be equal to my budgeted price. I will not have a separate price for my budgets and separate price for my standards. Standard price and budgeted price will always be the same. So we can take that 20 and 30. So if we multiply these two, we get 1200. In total, we get 2400 as my standard cost. 2400 is my standard cost. Now coming to actuals, they have given actual quantity for A, which is 70. They have given this actual quantity for A, which is 70. And they have given the actual price for B, which is 30, right? We do not have the actual quantity of B or actual price of A, so which we will have to calculate. Next, the question says the material price variance of A is equal to 105 adverse. Material price variance of A is 105 adverse. So what is the formula for material price variance? If you remember, it is standard price into actual quantity minus actual price into actual quantity. Now in this formula, we will substitute whichever values we know. So do we know the standard price? Yes, it is 20. We know the actual quantity, which is 70, minus we do not know the actual price, but we know the actual quantity, right? Simplifying this equation, we will get 70 actual price is equal to 20 times 70 is 1400 plus 105. So actual price will be equal to 1505 divided by 70. Actual price is 21.5. So we get this 21.50, right? Now we have got our actual quantity and actual price for A, so we can calculate our actual cost. We will just multiply 70 into 21.5, we get 1505. 1505, right? So next in the question, they have given us material cost variance for both A and B, right? This is A plus B, let's say. Okay, so what is the formula for material cost variance? It is standard cost minus actual cost. So 275 adverse is equal to, how much is the standard cost? we will take 2400. Why? Because we are doing for A plus B. We are not doing individually A or B. We are doing A plus B. So standard cost comes to 2400 minus actual cost. We do not have the actual cost, so let us keep it as it is. So simplifying this equation, we get, and actual cost will come to 2400 plus 275, come to 2675. So this is my total actual cost, 2675, right? In this, if you subtract my actual cost for A, which is 1505, you will get 1170. You get 1170. Now you have got the actual cost of material B and you have the actual price of material B. We can calculate the actual quantity of material B. So 1170 divided by 30 is 39. So my actual quantity comes to 39. If we add these two, my total actual quantity is 109, which is 70 plus 39 comes to 109. Next. So now let us see the requirements of the question since we have completed our table. So actual price of material A. For first requirement, actual price of material A, we have 21.50. Second, actual quantity of material B, we have calculated that as well, which is 39. You should denote it by symbols, which this is R, this is whatever they have given. If they have given units, you write it as units. If they have given kgs, you write it as kgs. However, in the question, I do not see that. Maybe you could take it as units. Not an issue. Okay. Next, third, they are asking us to calculate material price variance. However, they do not say whether it is for A or B or in total. Since they are not talking about that, we will assume it to be total material price variance. We will assume it to be total material price variance. In the question, they have already given us what is the price variance for A. So you have to calculate for material price variance for B and add that with A to get your total material price variance, right? Then material usage variance, again you will have to calculate for A, B and in total. Material mix variance and material yield variance also you will have to calculate. To calculate material mix and material yield, you will need something also known as revised standard quantity. Revised standard quantity. So I will help you calculating revised standard quantity. However, the variances you should be able to do it on your own. So if you have watched my previous videos, I have already told you what is revised standard quantities. So revised standard quantity is if my total standard quantity is equal to my actual quantity, what will be the mix of the material A and B, or what will be the ratio of material A and B, right? So how we do that is we take my total revised standard quantity to be 109. Okay, we'll take total 109. So now what is the ratio of my standard quantity? Ratio is for A it is 60 by 100 and for B it is 40 by 100. For A it is 60 by 100, for B it is 40 by 100, correct? We multiply this with 109, which is my actual quantity. We multiply this with 109, which is my actual quantity. So what do we get? This is 65.4 and 40 into 109 divided by 100, we get 43.6. So this is my revised standard quantity. This becomes my revised standard quantity. So once you have calculated these, you can, once you have calculated this, you can easily compute all the variances. It is very easy. If you know the formula, you just have to substitute the values in the formula with the values in our table and you will get your answers, right? So this ends this video here. I had chosen these 3 problems. Again, if I find any more interesting problems, I'll definitely make videos on that. Or if you find any interesting problem and think that you need any help on solving those, please share it with me. I will definitely try to make a video on that as early as possible. Also, please write down in the comments if you have any doubts, if you want any better understanding on any concept or any other topic. Also, please like the video, share the video with your friends, colleagues, and your fellow batchmates. Also, subscribe to my channel because I will be posting regular videos on the on similar topics of costing and also other subjects. Thank you.